reminder and announcement. Basically what the so-called death tax is going to do to family businesses and family farms if something isn't done. And again, as I say, there may be a solution, but whether it'll be, an optimal solution, that remains to be seen. So we may have to develop some other strategies around, around this eventuality. So anyway, I'm glad that Frank and Gwen are here tonight, Frank Ozak and Gwen Wyckoff. So let me have them come up, and I will hand the dais over to them. And please help me welcome them. Frank, welcome, and thank you.
I first want to thank Mike and recognize Howard and George McCaleb, who is also a co-author of The Art of Casting the Buck, and Bernard Brandt, who helped us put our paperwork together for the DOJ. And if anybody has an interest in legal work, both George and Bernard and Howard all have paralegals, and they can help people put that stuff together. I want to thank Mike for having us here, and I want to thank the Carl Hess Club. And one thing I did want to mention about this is that in our paperwork from the DOJ, the Carl Hess Club was mentioned. So therefore, you have stepped up, and you have now become recognized by the New World Order. And Eustace Mullen wrote about it in his book called The World Order, to where if you have any small club, no matter how small, you will probably have somebody there who is a representative of the order. They try to convince you to do something. They'll be very helpful. So Carl Hess Club has been recognized. And before we get started, if people are watching this on YouTube, there'll be a link here for any handouts that are given below, and there's also a link on our website for it. And one thing I would want to say is if anybody's here that is a member of an alphabet agency or responds to an alphabet agency, please stand up and identify yourself. Pardon? Alphabet agency.
I belong to the FIB.
Okay, well, I don't see anybody standing up. I see a bunch of people looking around, and some people looking straight ahead. So the people looking around, I guess, are trying to find out who belongs to an alphabet agency, and those who are looking straight ahead, you're suspect. So I'm going to turn this over to Gwen, and she's going to carry the heavy load on this, and I hope you enjoy it. And I want to
website address. Give the website address.
Oh, you can see us at, and this video will be posted at passingbucks.com. And here's Gwen Wyckoff.
Here I am. Greetings and salutations. It's fun to be here. I hope to take you on a wild journey tonight and make everything pretty exciting. First of all, I'm going to start by telling a story about our great Mike Everlin. Something he's totally forgotten. He was only 7 years old when this happened. He was in 2nd grade. Maybe some of you have heard about him. The teacher came into class one day with a small envelope, and inside the envelope was a cut-up picture of the world. And these 2nd graders were supposed to put together the world. Mike, at that time, little Mikey, he was very fidgety. He didn't like sitting in class and all these pieces of paper of this silly world were not interesting to him. So he fooled around with them, and he turned over a couple of them, and he found out on the back there was a picture of a home. And he liked that. That was a neat puzzle. So he turned everything over because he was a rebel, and he scotch taped it all together, and he was done in 10 minutes. And there he was with the world finished, because when he put together the home, the world took care of itself. So that's what this lecture is about. And of course we have to applaud Mike for his brilliance. And the biggest conspiracy is the one against the family. You can put all the conspiracies together. You can list them, which I'm going to do tonight, a lot of them. And really the bottom line is they're after you and your family. Humans cannot operate alone. They can only operate in groups. They need to share resources. They need to talk to each other. They're made of heart and soul. There's lots of entities on this planet all dressed up in human bodies that don't have heart and soul. And it's unbelievable sometimes when we finally become aware of that we have to discriminate who we're dealing with. So my lecture is for heart and soul tonight, and I'm going to tell you a few more stories and then take you on a journey. This empty jar here, I mean it looks empty, looks about 6 inches with a white lid. This little jar here is not empty. There's something in here, and you're going to be able to see it later. Okay, I spent many years in transcendental meditation, listening to Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and every once in a while he would say something that would just knock me over. It just took me forever to think about it. And he said, you can only love yourself. There's absolutely nobody that you can love but yourself. It's impossible to love another person. And the only thing you love about another person is your own reflection. And I've gone through life for many years looking at that and recognizing that is so. And sometimes what you love in the other person is the other person's pain, because it reflects your own pain. But with this in mind, when we're talking about families, you have to understand that you have to have, in your group situation with your family, you have to have a situation where you get satisfaction, where you're getting your needs met. And in the system I'm going to show you and explain to you, it's all based on cross-vested interests and getting benefits. Let me just say a little bit about benefits. I've said it on the YouTube video a lot, and I've said it on the audio lecture that's on our website. But whoever gives you the benefits is where your loyalty belongs. And unfortunately, it's the federal government that's giving out the benefits, and that's where all the loyalty is going. And in this trust system, the common law trust system, we need to rewire our families so that the group power through the trust system is where you get your benefits and where you want to put your attention, which is on each other and on your family. The families today are fractured. People are all over the place. There's dysfunctional relationships with parents and siblings and all kinds of stories about, everybody's got some issue going on with their families. However, the government has spent a lot of time programming the world to make sure that that is so. So at some place we have to stop, and we have to decide how we're going to do it. And there's absolutely no organizational system, no leadership system that is available that is tight enough to hold the family together under the circumstances, except the common law trust system. And this is why it's been under siege. This is why the DOJ comes after people with trust. This is This is where the battle line is. So no matter what we deal with and how we look at it, the people that should support us, the people that we need to support us, are our family. Now, we may have to redefine family. We may have to say, well, my parents are, I can't deal with them, and you may have to get another group that's your family, but somehow you're going to have to reformat your organization so that you can survive in whatever's coming. And I'm not a doomsday person. I don't say bad things are coming. I just say that if we can organize ourselves on a family basis and become strong, we can provide the leadership necessary. All right, yes?
You see on our newsletter, it says, inspired by family synergy.
All right. Okay. Because we're in the trust business, I want to mention that all living trusts become irrevocable. And so there's a lot of principles about trusts in the irrevocable format that need to be learned before you do your simple little living trust that you can download off the internet. I'm not against doing that. I'm only against doing it without knowledge. In Volume 1, we dedicate the whole book to teaching people about inheritance, how to pass on inheritance, what to do in every situation you can possibly imagine, whether the trust is irrevocable or not. But just remember, whatever you do, it will become irrevocable when the grantor dies. The subject of inheritance is probably the one of the least understood in the whole world, and that's been deliberate. Deliberate. It's not a mistake.
Why is that?
Because they don't want you to build your wealth from generation to generation. The powers that be, they have built their wealth since Rome. They have always been in trust. They've always put everything in trust. They have taught every generation how to perpetuate the wealth. And the people of Earth, the people that are not in those big families, those big ruling families, know nothing about it until we wrote these books. And now the whole system of how it's done is available. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate a system to create family cohesion. A strong family has a multitude of options. A strong family has multiple connections and becomes a formidable force in society by creating jobs. What would you rather do? Have to work from morning to night for somebody else, or create jobs for somebody else? This is what family cohesion can do. Now I'm going to take you into the future, because very few of you have ever experienced being in a trust family, in a trust situation. So we are going to go on a fantasy journey, and we're going to go into the future and see what that looks like. And I brought my friend here in this jar, and you can't see her yet because you haven't got your virtual reality glasses. And this jar really isn't 6 inches tall. This jar is really 2 feet tall. And inside this jar is the name of a being called Perpetual. And her last name is Wealth, right? And this is a fairy. And I'm going to let her out of here. And she has purple iridescent wings. She has a teal dress. She has long tawny hair down to her waist. I bet you can see her now.
I can see her perfect.
And she's going to gold dust all of you and give you your virtual reality glasses. And on the side of your virtual reality glasses is a dial. And it goes from 0 to 5. And you're going to turn it up to 5. I'm taking all of you, and we're zooming into the future, and you're going to go 3 generations into the future. And in that future, you're going to be sitting in a beautiful room. You can design your own room. It can have an oval table, it can have a square table, it can have a mahogany table, but there's 15 people sitting at that table. And you're zoomed into the future and you're sitting at the table. And what's happening in this table is it's kind of like a Board of Trustees meeting. Not a real serious one because it's not going to have a big long agenda. But you are 30 years old. You're sitting at the table. You've been invited into this meeting. And the trustees are explaining how all the money is accumulated in the trust. How the money comes in from the farm that was acquired through marriage by one of the beneficiaries. Your aunt brought the farm into the trust system. There's an electrical engineering company where the trust is a partnership, and it takes care of electrical engineering all over the world. And all this money is coming into the trust. There's an apartment building with 100 apartments bringing in buco money, right? And you're sitting there at the table and you're looking at the pages of financial data, and you are there because you are going to be trained how to help manage all this stuff. And when you were 18, so you're 3 generations into the future, and when you were 18, you met with the trustees and they said you're going to get $1,000 a month, and you're going to get it, and you have 5 years to play with it. And what we want from you is we want you to have experience with money, and we want you to have experience in life. You can either get an education, or you get a technical education, or you can just go out and have one job after another. And in 5 years, we want you to come back and tell us your experience. And then from that point forward, the trustees would design the rest of your training. So here you are in this Board of Trustees meeting, and they're telling you about the finances, and they're telling you they're going to give you this management training situation so you can help manage the family finances. Now this is a 3 generation in the future. So while you're sitting there and you're thinking, wow, how did this all happen to me? The perpetual wealth fairy decides to take you all back in time to show you how it was set up. And so that's what we're going to do today. We have a handout. We're going to show you how to structure a trust. A little bit of a structuring a trust, but we're not going to do that quite yet. You've got to get you back into this room, so you're going to fly back into the room with the fairy, and you're going to look down on the crowd, and you're not sitting here. You're sitting here as your grandparents who set up the trust for the 3 generations in the future. And I needed to explain to you what the goal is and what the future looks like so you could possibly understand what we're going to do today. And the idea is to step you through a little tiny piece of how to set up a trust. This information comes from Volume 2, page 45, Chapter 4. And the reason I want to tell you it's Chapter 4 is because there's 3 chapters that go before what I'm going to tell you. So I'm going to only tell you a little piece because it's way too complicated to go any further.
How much are those books?
What?
How much are those books?
Well, the little one is $40. And the big one, which isn't for everybody, believe me not, it's $500. And we keep it at $500 because we want to keep the looky-loos out. If you're not serious about setting up a trust, we don't want you to get involved because it's very dangerous. I have never said it was easy to do what we're telling you to do. But if you are serious about setting up an organization to make your family work so you can sit in the Board of Trustees meeting in the future and wonder how all this happened, then you get volume 2, okay? All right. So, previously, because I'm going to be jumping into a piece of trust structuring that's actually quite sophisticated, I want to just say that we're on YouTube. We have an hour and 15-minute video where we were interviewed about our court case. The DOJ came after us, and we proved to them by law, we proved to them by example, we proved to them by every possible means you could that the trust system we set up is absolutely legitimate. And I think the moment in time when the attorney for the DOJ got it, it's when I said, why are you asking me all these questions? A common law trust is no different than a statutory trust. There's no difference in law. It's the same laws. Why are you doing this? And I realized at that point that they actually thought a common law trust was a different animal. It's only a different animal in the sense that it is more sophisticated and it's harder to manage, but it has so much more potential. But if you have a court case and you're going to fight about it, your trust in front of a judge, it's the same laws as a statutory trust. So I was like, okay. So at that point is, I think, where the whole thing began to turn around. And they began to realize, we weren't doing anything illegal, or these were not sham trusts. The biggest difference between a sham trust and a real trust is whether you have two real trustees. Trustees are essential because they're the ones who have their name on the checking account. They're the ones who own all the investments. They're the ones who administer to the beneficiaries. And they are separate entities. Your name is not on a checking account. And you have to trust these trustees, that's why it's called a trust, to take care of you. And there's the trick. It's quite tricky. You better know what you're doing. Okay, we also have an audio lecture where I take you through the details of that particular scenario where what do trustees do and what do all the officers do and all of that. So you can get all that in other places. Okay, like I mentioned, the family is the only target. No matter what kind of conspiracy you go to, at the bottom, the family is the target. I call it yo-yo banking. The banking system on this planet can be manipulated anyway at any time by anybody who's got the power. And these are these big banking families that can do this. Now, you may not understand the issue of poverty in reference to politics. Poverty is deliberately set up by the powers that be because this is where they get their armies. Drugs and gangs is a beautiful source for armies and assassins. And they're funded by the alphabet agencies. These are all against the family. They release felons from prison early to terrorize the population, to make sure you cannot feel safe. They do not want you to feel safe. And of course, we all know about pedophiles. All over the place, pedophiles. I brought one article that was on the internet. It's called Rampant Child Porn Rings at Government Agencies. Your fiends, these non-heart and soul people, they get fed children for payment. A pedophile is an obsessed creature. If you want him to go murder somebody for you, he will. Promise him five little girls. It's ugly. It's very ugly. But again, it's the family being targeted. You're up against a huge, huge enemy. And they've been at it a really long time. So you're now, remember, you had come back from the future, and you're wondering how your trust got set up. And so you're in this lecture right now, and you're understanding that it's very dark. When your grandparents set up this trust system, it was a very, very dark time. And what happened from the time your grandparents set up the trust system is they gathered enough momentum and enough internal fortitude by long-range planning that they were able to do something to clean up some of the problems that we have now. And it would take a lot of people to do this. And I didn't say I was dealing with reality. I said it was a fantasy. But we at Charles Arthur, this is what we're about. We're about educating people how to set up their family so that they have the cross-vesting, they have the benefits, they hold together. The military domination of the world is about making sure that oil remains in the backing of the dollar. These are called petrodollars that we have. Your $1 bill in your pocket is backed by oil. If you change the oil domination of the world, then you're going to change the financial situation in the world. And this is where the great big power houses are fighting. Of course, we all know about dumbing down the population through the education system, or don't. You know, you learn algebra in the morning and you learn chemistry in the afternoon, and the two are not connected. That's what happened to me. I was brilliant in algebra, but could I ever apply it to chemistry? No, I can't. It's compartmentalized learning, and it's done deliberately. And the educational system is about making sure that people cannot rise too far. They want factory workers. The government is very, very into programming the population. So the people better get onto programming their own children. What is kind of upsetting today is the mother with the baby and the stroller, and she's got 2 earplugs in her ears, and she's texting while she's listening to some music. Is she paying any attention to the baby? I'm sure all of us have seen this. Consciousness is transmitted by eye contact. You have to do your Gucci Gucci goos, and you have to do your peekaboos with your baby, and you have to talk to your baby. Your baby is your future. In the common law trust, what? Huh?
Touching.
Oh, touching, holding, all of that. In the common law trust system, you begin to realize your children are your product. Your children are your asset. The focus goes away from trying to buy the speedboat into making sure the children rise up to take care of the future. Okay, where are we? Okay, you know about those situations. You probably had it in your own family if your parents were going to leave you anything at all, where your mother or your father would not tell you anything about the money that they were going to pass to you. They absolutely refused. They were so afraid that you wanted to take their money that they never told you anything. Then they die, and nobody's prepared for what happened. That happened with my father. He had a substantial sum of money, and he wouldn't tell me anything. Then he died, and his brother took over the trust my father set up. And his brother took him months to figure out where all the money was. And there was no instructions. There was a trust, but there wasn't any instructions where any of the wealth was. When we set up an irrevocable trust, all that money gets transferred to the trustees, and you turn your family into a business, and the trustees print out the financial reports, and the beneficiaries get to see what's going on. It's full disclosure, and it's full participation in the family. And the family comes together, and this is where you start getting your beneficial distribution and your vested interest. This is where it starts, not this closed-lipped kind of thing that parents often do. When I give you your little assignment here, you're going to see 4 trusts, and you might wonder why there's 4 different trusts. There's a thing in the trust world called asset separation. That's if one asset gets seized, you don't lose all the others.
All right, family. Peace and love, peace and love. Coming in loud and clear. Hopefully everybody can definitely hear me. And if you're actually inside of our YouTube channel, inside the chat, please give me a thumbs up to let me know that you are hearing me. Trustee training, back from a solar return. Appreciate all of those heartfelt solar return wishes. With that being said, so much to do, so little time. We are at the part of the year for me and my family office where we make a lot of decisions pertaining to how we will be dealing with most of the clients and families that we are associated with and the various different platforms that's taking place. And as you can tell from the dialogue of what you're listening to, trusteeship is not only the forefront, but we really prefer that we deal with family offices and trust in that format. The individuality, which is important, works into that particular scheme of things. So in other words, you will be working with other family offices, so it'll be a better fit if you come from a family office so you can work with other family offices. And I give everybody kind of a reminder of exactly what it is that you're actually doing and dealing with, because most individuals, it's difficult, especially when you don't have this education. You know, you have this, you have that. I'm just going to just share with the world that all of that is nothing more than an excuse. Why? Because a lot of us who are first generation in the aspect of wealth management didn't grow up into this information. This was something that was brought to our attention by the various different obligations and contracts that we're affiliated with. I'll speak on myself. I was exposed to this in my early 20s. Actually, I was probably barely 21, so that's 31 years ago. Well, 30 years ago. You know, I had a solar return yesterday. So 30 years ago, I was exposed to this, and I felt I was, didn't want to listen to nobody. When you're young, you think you know everything. So all these individuals who kept telling me, if you just sit still, pay attention, learn something, you'll learn the difference between money and real money. I didn't want to hear all of that because I thought I knew what money was, and 30 years into the future from there, everything that I was running from, I'm now at the helm of. And I just, when you're working in trusteeship, the analogy, if you put your home together, the world will take care of itself. I love that analogy. I wasn't just playing that for you guys. I was playing it for myself because it is true. You have to sometimes go within and focus on what's internal so the external will make more sense. And that's the only thing that you can fix and worry about. Everybody and everything else external of you, it is what it is. Even when people abuse you, use you, this, that, and the other, don't take it personal. It's just you have to develop a perception that everything is an opportunity. And the Most High doesn't put things into your life that you're not supposed to use as an opportunity. But because of our perception of it, because we don't get it how we want, we develop the reality of what's going on. And then we become the victim. And then we want to make it everybody else's fault, when in the truth, the reality is it all started with you. The natural laws of things that are developing have nothing to do with how you feel, your emotion, or somebody said this, that, and the other. That's how you're reacting to it. Has nothing to do with what's really going on. So if you change your mind, everything else will change. It's a perception. Change your perception. And sometimes you have to get away from those things that don't give you proper perception. You got to get away from people. You got to get away from family. Key word in trusteeship, everyone that's participating in trusteeship should be some type of family. And that makes it difficult for some folks. I know for me, I'm a very isolated type person. I've always been considered, quote unquote, the black sheep of my family, so it was very difficult. But at the end of the day, I have a lot of people globally that I fellowship and work with as a unified community family. Now, quote unquote, just like Jesus, that has really it carries no weight in the aspect of how people may feel about this, that, and the other, but it doesn't put any sense in my pocket, so I don't let it dictate the outcome. We have a job to do, and we have to strive to do those things in that capacity. So at the end of the day, I wanted everybody to understand that trusteeship in 2024, you're going to need this, because everything outside of trusteeship is designed to tear the family apart. There's an algorithm in play to keep you exactly where they want you. I made an announcement last week in one of our particular classes that if you do not make a move, Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, made an announcement last week that a lot of our people slept on because you're worried about the Super Bowl. Well, let me explain something to you. If you're still tethered to the banking system after he made that announcement on Thursday, you're on a perpetual collision with having your wealth exploited away. And when I say exploited, you don't have, in my opinion, enough time and education to really get out of the way. We've been training practitioners over the last 4 years solid in this. And in 2020, when the whole pandemic took place, our family office took on not only what we were already doing in trusteeship, but we took on additional roles because of the pandemic, and we provided a product and a mechanism that have helped certain individuals, in that regard. Now, the truth of the matter is, unfortunately, those that are outside of the United States mental demographic took more of an advantage of COVID insurance than those that are domestically here. And the reason why is because you just heard what Gwen just said. People's loyalty is where they get their benefits. And 99% of most individuals are dependent upon government in one aspect or the other. It's a very small percentage that technically are not dependent on a government subsidy of sorts. You have individuals that work a job, they don't want to lose their pension. You have individuals that have all these different things. And see, without having the history, like one of the things in one of the classes that we take, we realize that if I can go get a job, there's nothing wrong with that. When every job that I've ever held, I can actually go back and file a UCC for everything that I didn't get paid, so I can use that to go perpetual. Now that makes sense. Now you're more than willing to go online and go from, occupation to occupation in one regard or the other, because you have a mechanism in play which will allow you to not lose your equity. But if you're on a job and you're being paid a W-2 wage, and you're filling out these tax forms, remember it's tax season, you don't understand the history behind filling out those forms and being brought into a certain perception, all for a benefit. Because again, the truth of the matter is, if you're subject to the income tax, you're also subject to the production or the manufacture of alcohol, firearms, tobacco. And if you did not participate actively in the material manufacture of alcohol, firearms, or tobacco, but you're saying that on these forms to get a benefit, then that's just what it is. And anytime you're participating in that aspect of fraud, it's fruits of a poisonous tree. Now, again, a lot of individuals don't want to talk about that because I need my child income credit and this, that, and the other. It's just you're taking, again, some sort of benefit from the system. So please be prepared to give up another right. And it's not personal. So the very system that everybody falls on bending knee and pray to God, Lord, please, Lord, you're volunteering for it. Look, I tell folks all the time, the hardest thing sometimes for some folks is when they come to this information and they're wanting it so bad, but they don't realize the demographic that's at play. They have to come to a realization that you're going to have to do not only the work, but you may have to go into another environment where you can at least control your income so you can at least be able to stay within the realm of this entail. Because there's too many people that have access to social media, in my opinion, that's not benefiting from it. How is it that you can go to social media every day, but going to social media every day isn't putting enough money in your pocket to support your family? See, you're going to social media every day is feeding someone else's family. So if you're going to social media every day is not feeding you and your family, you might, in my opinion, commercially, it's not personal, it's not a jab, might need to make an adjustment. Because the algorithm has made it very easy for you to do just that. And on top of that, after we got our first quarter financials for 2024, we made some arrangements and changes to our original platform. We now have, on top of the 30 platforms that we use to bring consumer goods to consumers in that regard, we have incorporated an entire media platform for those that are using media but are not benefiting from it. But that requires a level of aptitude. I have actually gone back to my original alumni, which is with Full Sail Real World Education. I've recruited a couple of great students. I have a couple of family members that are at the helm of that. And so it is with extreme pleasure that I bring to you the official WTDTA radio platform for 2024. Those of you that remember, we used to initiate what we call the Loyal Listener Program. And we plan on doing that times 10, because what we will be introducing is individuals who enjoy this type of content, an opportunity not only to share this content, but make up to $500 to $1,000 a month by simply sharing it. For more exclusive details, please give our office a call at area code 561-873-2125. Leave a message. Someone from our illustrious staff will definitely get back with you. But this is just the beginning. Trusteeship is going to be the theme behind 99% of everything you hear. From every video that you will watch to every song that you will hear, that will be the theme. So keep listening, because if you keep listening and watching long enough, you definitely will learn something.
Understanding the importance of commercial liens and affidavits in commerce. Introduction. In the world of commerce and law, there are certain principles and maxims that form the foundation of our legal systems. These principles emphasize the importance of truth, the validity of affidavits, and the power of commercial liens. This article aims to provide a comprehensive understanding of these concepts and their significance in commerce. The power of maxims. 1. The dignity and authority of maxims. Maxims are widely accepted principles in law and commerce due to their certainty and approval among all individuals. 2. The foundation of law and commerce. All individuals recognize that the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth form the basis of law and commerce. 3. Truth as the sovereign in commerce. Truth, as a valid statement of reality, holds supreme authority in the realm of commerce. 4. The strength of unrebutted affidavits. An unrebutted affidavit is considered true in commerce and can be treated as a judgment. 5. The effect of affidavits in commerce. Affidavits, when left unchallenged, can be acted upon as judgments in commercial matters. 6. Remedies in the course of law. Every individual has the right to a remedy in the due course of law. If an existing remedy is unavailable or subverted, one can create a remedy by expressing it in their affidavit. Ignorance of the law is not a valid excuse for committing a crime. The role of commercial entities and bonds. 7. The basis of corporate government. Corporate government relies on commercial affidavits, contracts, liens, and distresses. Notice given to an agent is considered notice to the principal, and vice versa. 8. The importance of commercial bonds. Legitimate political power of a corporate entity depends on its possession of commercial bonds against public hazards. Lack of bonding weakens the entity's power and privilege to enforce statutes. 9. Commercial guarantors and liability. Corporate legal power is secondary to commercial guarantors, and case law cannot replace the need for a bond. 10. Municipal corporations and bonding. Municipal corporations, including cities, counties, states, and national governments, lack commercial reality without bonding their entity, statutes, and rulings execution. Protecting commercial liens and affidavits. 11. Preservation of affidavits. Impairing or expunging an affidavit or a commercial process without a counter-affidavit is a serious offense, even for judges. 12. The origin of non-jury commercial judgments. Judicial non-jury commercial judgments and orders stem from limited liability entities called municipal corporations. These judgments must be reinforced by commercial affidavits and liability bonds. 13. Limitations on unbonded rulings and statutes. Governments cannot make unbonded rulings or statutes that control commerce, free enterprise, citizens, or sole proprietorships without declaring martial law. 14. Avoiding tax fraud. Settling a dispute or controversy through the court system, when it could be resolved peacefully outside of court, may constitute tax fraud. The significance of consent and agreements. 15. Bonding requirement for officials. An official, such as a court officer or policeman, must demonstrate individual bonding to use summary processes. 16. Consequences of impairing or abridging contracts. Anyone who impairs, voids, or abridges a contract's obligation or the effect of a commercial lien without proper cause becomes a debtor, and their property may be forfeited to secure the lien. 17. Dissolving a commercial lien. Only the lien claimant or a jury can dissolve a commercial lien. It is unlawful for a judge to summarily remove, dismiss, dissolve, or diminish a commercial lien. 18. The importance of consent. Consent is crucial in law and commerce. When one consents to an action or agreement, they cannot claim injury later. 19. The binding nature of contracts. Agreements between parties form the basis of contract law. The terms agreed upon by the parties create the law between them. 20. Overcoming the law with agreements. The agreement between parties can prevail over general laws. 21. The immunity of consent. If one consents to an action, they cannot be harmed by it. 22. Facts and law in legal proceedings. In legal matters, facts are established through witnesses under oath or affirmation. Ignorance of facts may excuse, but ignorance of the law does not excuse. 23. Presumptions in law. Until proven otherwise, all things are presumed to be lawfully done and duly performed. 24. The role of notice. Notice given to an agent is considered notice to the principal, and vice versa. 25. Public hazard bonding requirements. According to federal, state, and municipal laws, officials must provide their public hazard and malpractice bonding company's name, address, telephone number, policy number, and coverage details. Failure to comply may constitute insurance fraud. Conclusion. Understanding the principles of commerce, the power of affidavits, and the importance of commercial liens is crucial in navigating legal proceedings. By upholding truth, seeking proper bonding, and asserting one's rights through commercial processes, individuals can protect their interests in the complex world of commerce. It is essential to approach legal matters with knowledge and comprehension, ensuring fair and just outcomes in the realm of commerce. The fundamentals of arbitration and financial literacy. Introduction. Arbitration and financial literacy are crucial aspects of navigating the complex world of commerce. This article aims to provide a comprehensive understanding of the fundamentals of arbitration and the importance of financial literacy in building wealth. Being the change you want to see. 1. Taking responsibility. Individuals must understand that they need to be proactive in saving themselves and taking control of their financial future. 2. The power of knowledge. Gaining financial literacy requires dedicated effort, including reading, comprehending financial concepts, and sacrificing leisure activities for educational pursuits. 3. The illusion of vacations. Wealthy individuals do not take vacations away from being wealthy. Instead, they view their travels as site visits and conduct business during their trips. 4. The allegory of wealth. Financial literacy is often lacking in the United States, and many people fail to recognize its importance. Ignorance about how banks, the economy, and the Uniform Commercial Code, UCC, work can hinder financial success. Understanding debt and equity. 5. Good debt versus bad debt. Debt can be categorized as either good or bad, depending on its performance and equity value. 6. The role of good debt. Good debt has equity and performs well, while bad debt is seen as a liability. 7. Leveraging debt for success. Leveraged buyouts and other financial strategies utilize debt and equity to control assets and resources effectively. 8. Avoiding the debt-free mindset. The idea of striving to be debt-free is misleading. Wealthy individuals understand the power of leveraging debt to generate wealth. The importance of financial competency. 9. Demonstrating competence. When engaging in equity deals, demonstrating financial competence is crucial. 10. Leveraging assets to mitigate risk. When faced with questions about income statements and expenses, showcasing an understanding of leveraging assets to offset financial risks is essential. 11. Overcoming obstacles. When faced with challenges or potential funding denials, it is vital to understand that being denied funding requires a written explanation. 12. The potential for future funding. If a deal is not initially funded, changing management or circumstances may lead to future funding opportunities. Reinsurance and funding. 13. Reinsuring deals. Understanding that deals are funded by insurance allows individuals to reinsure their projects, providing additional financial leverage. 14. Capitalizing on predicating proponents. Leveraging insurance and reinsurance can enhance funding opportunities and expedite deal completion. Conclusion. Arbitration and financial literacy play crucial roles in navigating the complexities of commerce. By taking responsibility for our financial future, striving for financial literacy, and understanding the dynamics of debt and equity, individuals can build wealth effectively. Being proactive in gaining financial knowledge and leveraging resources allows us to make informed decisions and seize opportunities for financial growth and success.
The alternative lending industry can provide a very lucrative opportunity for brokers and affiliate partners. Whether you're specialized in commercial lending or real estate financing, having the right funding partner can make the difference between earning thousands on a deal or losing a commission. Go Capital understands this. You work hard to secure your clients and deserve to be compensated. Unfortunately, due to increased competition, many lending companies have stopped working with new agents, are not providing adequate training, are slow to respond, and simply not issuing competitive approvals. By joining Go Capital's partner program, your dedicated support specialist will assist you every step of the way. As a broker, you know that it's not always a matter of obtaining a loan approval. You need competitive terms. Go Capital's catalog of loan products allows you to offer the best financial solutions to your clients. Options include business lines of credit, SBA loans, merchant cash advances, commercial mortgages, hard money fix and flip loans, bridge financing, equipment leasing, invoice factoring, and more. What does this mean for you? More deals, more commission, and satisfied customers. As a registered partner, you'll receive free access to the Broker Affiliate Sales Portal. This system allows you to easily manage your deals and also offers tools, training, and resources that will help you succeed. Frustrated with never being able to speak with someone about your deals? At Go Capital, someone is always available. Whether you prefer to call, email, chat, or even visit our office headquarters in downtown Miami, we are always available to answer your questions. While other companies may advertise the highest commissions, they often fall short when it comes to issuing competitive terms, making the process easy, or simply being responsive. Go Capital provides quality broker support and training, and quickly identifies how to best structure a transaction. With our multitude of loan programs, comprehensive training systems, and quality service, you can focus on more important things, generating more business. Need us to join a conference call with a client? Need help presenting an offer? No problem. Our loan specialists are here to help. For more is our business.
Ever wondered how to navigate the intricate web of compliance processes while maintaining top-tier security for your notarial records? The solution is closer than you think. Introducing Comply Chain Guard, or CGG, a platform designed specifically for civil law notaries. CCG merges the complex chain of compliance processes with unrivaled protective measures. It enables you to stride confidently through the multifaceted terrain of regulations while ensuring paramount security for your records, deeds, and transactions. CCG boasts a regulatory compliance engine that keeps you updated with real-time insights tailored to civil law regulations. It effortlessly integrates with legal databases and ensures automated compliance checks for all notarial deeds and transactions. But that's not all. CCG also features advanced encryption to safeguard your notarial records. You'll benefit from multi-factor authentication and periodic security assessments, upholding the sanctity of every notarial act. Plus, with continuous transaction monitoring, you'll receive alerts for any discrepancies and comprehensive logs for traceability. And when it comes to reporting and analytics, CCG generates automated compliance reports specific to notarial acts. Dive into our analytics dashboard for transaction patterns and predictive insights. Why choose CCG? It brings efficiency, security, and compliance to your fingertips, allowing you to operate with unmatched confidence and credibility. CCG integrates effortlessly with your notarial record-keeping systems. Our API facilitates bespoke integrations, ensuring compatibility with major legal platforms and databases. And remember, our dedicated support is here to assist you every step of the way. CGG is the future of notarial practices. It redefines your work, ensuring accuracy, credibility, and peace of mind. It's a transformative experience tailored for civil law notaries. Don't wait. Contact Comply Chain Guard for a demo or more information. Step into the future of notarial practices. Your journey to seamless compliance and robust security starts with CCG.
Unveiling the power of UCC 5 and the importance of correcting records. Introduction. Understanding the significance of UCC 5 forms and their role in correcting records is essential for those seeking financial freedom and sovereignty. This article explores the importance of leveraging the UCC 5 form to rectify inaccuracies in records and navigate the complexities of financial transactions. Embracing the truth. 1. Independent validation. The truth stands on its own, regardless of whether it is acknowledged or utilized. 2. Personal transformation. Letting go of preconceived notions and embracing new knowledge is crucial for personal growth and progress. 3. Learning from mistakes. Accepting past failures as valuable learning experiences paves the way for understanding and effectively utilizing information. 4. The power of documentation. sending paperwork and documents for processing is not a guarantee of immediate validation, but it is a necessary step in the journey towards financial sovereignty. Exploring the UCC-5 form. 5. Unveiling the UCC-5 form. The UCC-5 form, also known as the Information Statement, serves as a tool for correcting records. 6. Understanding its purpose. The UCC-5 form is specifically designed for correcting inaccuracies, addressing wrongfully filed records, or records filed by unauthorized individuals. 7. Transitioning from debtor to creditor. When aiming to change one's status from a debtor to a creditor, the appropriate option on the UCC-5 form should be selected. 8. Examining the options. Choosing the correct option on the UCC-5 form depends on the desired change in status. First, Option 1, record is inaccurate. Second, Option 2, record was wrongfully filed. Third, Option 3, record filed by a person not entitled to do so. Leveraging UCC 9-509. 9. Understanding UCC 9-509. UCC 9-509 is a specific section of the Uniform Commercial Code that governs commercial transactions and establishes priorities in securing collateral. 10. Obtaining control. Control over collateral is crucial for securing priority over competing claims. Different methods of control apply to various types of collateral, such as investment property, deposit accounts, and electronic shadow paper. 11. Importance of priority. Priority determines the rights to collateral in the event of default or bankruptcy. Establishing control ensures that the security interest takes precedence over other competing claims. 12. State-specific considerations. While UCC 9-509 provides a general framework, individual states may have adopted slight variations or additional provisions. It is advisable to consult state-specific UCC provisions and seek legal advice for proper application and interpretation. Harnessing the power of UCC 5. 13. Empowering self with UCC 5. Filling out and submitting the UCC 5 form empowers individuals to correct records and assert their creditor status. 14. Financial professionals' knowledge gap. Many financial professionals may not possess a thorough understanding of the UCC 5 form, but they can utilize it to monetize and facilitate financial transactions. 15. Incorporating AI tools. Leveraging AI tools and resources can enhance understanding and utilization of the UCC 5 form, allowing individuals to write letters of credit and unlock new opportunities. Conclusion. Correcting records through the UCC 5 form is a pivotal step in the journey towards financial sovereignty. By embracing the truth, learning from past mistakes, and leveraging the power of documentation, individuals can assert their creditor status and navigate complex financial transactions effectively. Understanding the nuances of UCC 9-509 and seeking legal advice for state-specific provisions further enhances one's ability to secure collateral and establish priority. Embracing AI tools and resources can unlock additional insights and opportunities for financial growth and success. Harnessing the power of the judgment fund and understanding notary responsibilities. Introduction. This article delves into the intricacies of the court register investment system known as the CRIS and sheds light on the Bureau of Fiscal Services' role in governing it. Additionally, it explores the significance of notaries in recording judgments on data sheets and submitting them to the Bureau of Fiscal Services. Understanding the processes involved in the judgment fund and the responsibilities of notaries is crucial for individuals seeking financial clarity and compliance. The Court Register Investment System, CRIS, and the Bureau of Fiscal Service. 1. Unveiling the CRIS, the Court Register Investment System, or CRIS, encompasses various services such as debt accounting and franchise services. 2. Regulatory Authority, the Bureau of Fiscal Service, previously known as the Bureau of Public Debt, governs the CRIS and ensures compliance with relevant regulations. The role of notaries in recording judgments. 3. The notary's responsibility. Notaries play a vital role in accurately recording judgments on data sheets. 4. Submission to the Bureau of Fiscal Service. Once recorded on a data sheet, notaries are required to submit the information to the Bureau of Fiscal Service. 5. Notary compliance. Notaries should diligently fulfill their obligations and follow the proper procedures when recording and submitting judgments. Understanding the data sheet and transmitter letter. 6. Examining the data sheet. The data sheet is an essential document used for recording judgments and settlements. 7. Information on the data sheet. The data sheet includes details such as the judgment amount, attorney fees, costs, interest, legal authorities, deductions, and reasons for deductions. 8. Consent to set off. Failure to provide necessary information, such as public hazard bond details, may be interpreted as a decline of consent to set off. 9. Compliance and consent. Properly providing required information ensures compliance and consent for set-offs. 10. The transmitter letter. The transmitter letter accompanies the data sheet and serves as a formal communication from the authorized representative of the United States. 11. Payment authorization. The transmitter letter certifies that all criteria for claim approval have been satisfied, whether the claim is administrative or litigative. 12. Referral for payment. Approval for payment is sought, and if granted, payment is made from agency funds or other designated sources. The Judgment Fund Voucher and Fast Manual, TAS. 13. Exploring the Judgment Fund Voucher. The Judgment Fund Voucher is a document requesting payment for approved claims. 14. TAS symbol. The TAS symbol, found on the Judgment Fund Voucher, helps ensure accurate routing of funds. 15. Bank account information. Bank account details may be required for proper payment processing. Trust considerations and compliance. 16. The importance of trust accounts. Funds received should be routed to a trust account for proper management and compliance. 17. Trust selection. The choice of trust account type may depend on individual circumstances and needs. 18. Seeking guidance. Consulting professionals, such as Tony King and Patrick Devine, can provide valuable insights and guidance regarding trust accounts. Sovereign citizen misconceptions and statute of limitations. 19. Addressing sovereign citizen misconceptions. Sovereign citizen misconceptions and misuse of legal strategies have contributed to negative associations. Proper knowledge and compliance are essential. 20. Statute of limitations. The statute of limitations may vary depending on the circumstances. Seeking legal advice is recommended for assessing individual cases. Conclusion. Understanding the intricacies of the Court Register Investment System, CRIS, the role of the Bureau of Fiscal Service, and the responsibilities of notaries is crucial for individuals navigating financial matters. Recording judgments accurately on data sheets and submitting them to the Bureau of Fiscal Service ensures compliance and paves the way for potential payment. Recognizing the significance of trust accounts, dispelling misconceptions, and seeking legal advice when necessary contribute to informed decision-making and financial empowerment. Unveiling the power of insurance in commerce and legal obligations.
All right, now, family. Hopefully, you guys are starting to get the gist. And this intel is not designed to be totally overwhelming. We teach these things in intricate phases through our Trust and Tax Mastery course. We go through this in-depth analysis of all things that have been discussed up until this point. The actual perception of things is wrapped in a term that we call asymmetric information. And asymmetric information is all around you. It is the very thing that you're trying to figure out, well, why does this work this way when it says that? It is the information of those that are practitioners that have that consumers don't have. So there's a practice to have asymmetric information readily available for practitioners, but deny access to that asymmetric information to the potential client, customer, etc. Let me give you an example. A lot of folks that deal in our space are seeking capital for their business endeavors. The loans, 99% of most loans are attached to asymmetric information. The reason why is because most borrowers have asymmetric information, knowledge of what they're going to do with the money that they may not list on the application. So the commercial codes are written in such a way to favor the lender over the borrower, because the borrower may provide information or have information that may not be fully articulated. Then what ends up happening a lot of times is that information really gets into a whole different tandem. So borrowers don't understand that asymmetric information is written and passed along to lenders, and the rules to protect lenders allow the lenders to recoup 60% of whatever they lend when you don't perform. It's because lending and insurance and all of those things provided is literally, and when I say literally is in a capacity where you can basically put all of this intel into motion and you can leverage that. Loans are supposed to be structured as leverage buyouts to leverage cash outs, because that's what large institutions do. The rules of lending is very simple. Underwriting software doesn't say you don't get a loan, you're not approved. That loan officer, that person on the other end who's getting commission, is going to tell you that, because it's not worth his or her time of energy of pushing that application to the next level. The algorithm said we will fund if you bring this, that, and the other additional data. So if you understand that, you provide the data and you provide a mechanism to utilize. So again, not being financially literate puts you in a position where you're at a disadvantage, and not having access to asymmetric information could be financially fatal. So the practitioners here are being groomed, they're being trained as not only civil law notaries, but compliance officers who get to act as parliamentary draftsmen. They get to leverage the playing field in such a way where they can use asymmetric information for all parties, not just the person who's borrowing, but the actual lender. It is never a win situation and a lose situation. It is always a win-win-win. The borrower, they win. The lender, they win. And the entire system wins, because accounting isn't adversarial. It is simply a method and means to an end. It is by genetic design. Accounting doesn't literally punish those who do the accounting, but it's asymmetrically rigged that if you won't provide the accounting, you don't do certain practices, then you will be ridiculed, because the flow of capital is that it always flows where it's being rewarded. Hopefully this information is impactful. Hope you guys are loving what you're hearing. For those of you that want to get more involved, get enrolled into our Syntax Trust Mastery courses, reach out to us at the office at 561-873-2125. More exclusive content like what you just heard is readily available. And yes, this is the official kickoff of WTDTA Radio 2024. We are reintroducing the loyal listener platform. So for all content providers that are out there, and you're ready to get your mind right and put a little coins in your pocket, reach out to us today so we can definitely get you into the spin. And with that, we're going to say